Good morning, all. In the previous session, we have talked about the tax invoice, like what is tax invoice and what are the contents related to tax invoices. Now we'll move ahead with the time limit during which the tax invoice needs to be generated for in reference to any of the supplies. So let us take that the time limit for the issue of invoice. Now, when we talk about the time limit for issuance of invoice, that simply means that when the supplier is supplying goods or the services, then what is the time limit during which the invoice should be generated by the supplier in reference to the supply of goods or the services that that supplier is doing. For this reference, this needs to be very clear that first of all, the supplier needs to analyze that whether the supply is of goods or the services. Like under GST, there are different provisions for the supply of goods and services. So if it is goods, then the time limit for issuance of invoice is differently assessed. In case of services, it is different. So the very basic condition for assessing the time limit for issuance of invoice is that you need to first assess that it is the goods or the services that needs to be supplied. Then in the case of goods or the services, it will be further bifurcated into the two parts. Like as you can see here, the taxable goods can be further studied under 2 points. One is supply of goods, that is the normal supply of goods, and next is the continuous supply of goods. So continuous, what is continuous supply of goods? That we have already discussed in the previous session. So you all know very well what is continuous supply of goods. So in this case, where the taxable goods are there, you need to assess that whether it is a normal supply of goods or it is a continuous supply of goods. Same for the taxable services also, you need to assess that it is a regular supply of service or the continuous supply of services. So like it is a normal supply or it is a continuous supply. Both have the different provisions for assessing the time limit for issuance of invoice. So let us take these points one by one. First point, it talks about the supply of taxable goods. So a registered person is supplying the taxable goods, then in that case, there have to be 2 points in consideration. One, where supply involves movement of goods, and the other point says where supply does not involve movement of goods. So let's take a first point first. Where supply involves movement of goods, means the goods are traveling from one place to another before actually you can say the recipient has received the goods. So that simply means, let's say the supplier is of Lucknow and he is supplying to Gujarat. So what happens here is the supplier makes the movement of goods to make it reachable to the recipient. So in this case, the movement of goods is involved, and after that movement of goods only, the recipient will be able to receive the goods. So in such cases where there is movement of goods involved for the supply, then before or at the time of removal of goods, like before, you can say before putting the goods in transport, or the date at which you are making the goods to be removed from one place to another, or you can say the supplier is removing the goods to make it available to the recipient. On that date or before that, the tax invoice should be generated. So in case where there is movement of goods involved, so the date it is being moving or before that, the invoice has to be generated. In the second case where supply does not involve movement of goods, this simply means that before or at the time of delivery of goods. Like when we talk about this point, it simply says that where the goods are not moving from one place to another before it is available to the recipient. For example, in this case, let us take that we go to the shop and we purchase the things over the counter. So in that case, it will come under this point where supply does not involve movement of goods, where the recipient itself is approaching to the supplier for the goods. So, which means that goods are not moving from one place to another before it is being available to the recipient, or you can say the recipient itself is approaching to the goods to get it delivered. So, in that case, where the recipient itself is moving and assessing for the goods, in that case, we say that there is no movement of goods involved. So under such situation where the movement of goods is not involved, then the time limit for the issuance of invoice is before or at the time of delivery of goods. When the delivery of goods is being done, like when the goods have been delivered, have been handed over to the recipient, at that date or before that, the invoice should have been generated. Or the second half of the point says, or making available thereof to the recipient. Making available thereof to the recipient here means that when the goods have been made available to the recipient to take it away, then at that date, the invoice should be generated. So any of the condition which is applicable depending upon the circumstances, if the delivery needs to be taken, then the supplier needs to make the tax invoice before or at the time of delivery of goods when he is handing over the goods to the recipient, or at any time when the goods have been made available to the recipient to take it away. Any of the situations under these three will be the effective date for the issuance of invoice. So if it is delivery, then before or the date of delivery is the maximum time limit for the tax invoice. And in the next case where you are making the goods available to the recipient, so the date at which you are making the goods available to the recipient, on that date you have to generate the invoice. So as we have taken the example here where you are going to the shop and purchasing the goods over the counter, in that case, the invoice should be generated when you are taking the delivery, like when you are buying the goods, you have collected from the counter the goods and you have done the billing done. So once your billing is done, now the delivery has been handed over to you. Now it is your responsibility whether to like keep the goods in the shop only, whether to make it, whether to put it in your home or to put it somewhere else. It is your responsibility now. So the when the supplier has made the delivery to you, at that time or before that, he has already prepared the tax invoice. Now it is your responsibility to take care of the goods. But in the first point, where supply involves movement of goods, under this supplier is making the removal of the goods from the supply point to the recipient point. So in that case, when the goods are moving, then you have to make the uh, tax invoice. But in the second case, when the movement of goods is not involved, where the recipient itself is responsible for taking the delivery, then at the time of delivery or before that, you need to issue the tax invoice, or at any other point of time where you are making the goods available to the recipient. That is the maximum time limit when you need to pay off, when you need to, generate the invoice. This is the supply of taxable goods. Now, in case of supply of taxable services, when we talk, so in this case, any registered person who is supplying such services, they need to generate the bill maximum within the time period of 30 days from the date of supply of service. So whenever there is a supply of services, normal supply of services, so you need to generate the bill within 30 days from the supply of, so date of supply of service. Now, since supply of services is there, and it is quite becomes difficult to assess that when actually the supply of services has been done, or to quantify the services become difficult here. So for that purpose, it has been said that whenever you are supplying, you can take maximum 30 days time gap to generate the bill in reference to that. And if the company is related to the insurance, like if you are the insurer or you are a banking company or financial institution, like in the case of NBFCs, this time limit exceeds to 45 days. So 30 days in normal circumstances, and in the case of the special cases, it is 45 days. Then moving ahead with the next category, that is in case of continuous supply of goods. Now, continuous supply, as I told you previously also, it can be of two types. One is continuous supply of goods, other is continuous supply of services. So, in case of continuous supply of goods, if you talk about, it is a contract between, you can say, the two person, supplier and the recipient, that there will be regular supply of goods. So, in that case, as it has been written here also, that the invoice shall be issued before or at the each time such a statement is issued or such payment is received. So in this case, there can be two time events when the tax invoice have to be generated. One can be the situation where you are generating any sort of statement from accounts or any sort of requirement that you are generating for the goods. So with that requirement of goods, either that date or before that date, you can issue the tax invoice. Or if there is no such requirement or such a statement generated from the account, then the other condition can be when the payment is received. So the date maximum at which the payment is being received by the supplier, that is the maximum time limit to issue the tax invoice. So in case of continuous supply of goods, either any sort of invoice, any sort of requirement or any statement has been raised up by the accounts department in reference to this continuous supply of goods, or the date at which the payment is being received by the supplier. Out of these two dates, you can issue the maximum time limit is these two time events. When these any of these two time events occur, you can issue the tax invoice. Then in the case of continuous supply of services, continuous supply of services here can be studied under 3 points. One, where the due date of payment is ascertainable from the contract, which means that in case you have the contract between the supplier and the recipient for the continuous supply of services, and out of that contract, the date is very well written. Like, for example, let us take any services provided by the event management company, that let's say I have to organize 4 conferences in a month, and I have undergone with the contract with the service provider that 4 conferences you need to organize, and the payment will be received on this date. Let's say the conference that needs to be organized is in July. So July, each week we have one conference, and at the end of the at the end of the fourth conference, you will be receiving your uh, payment. So the date, let's say 30th is the date for receiving the payment. So 30th, before 30th or on 30th, you can issue the tax invoice anytime before the date of payment. You can issue the contract. You can issue the tax invoice. Then second point says where due date is not ascertainable from the contract. In this case, suppose I have not mentioned any particular date for issuing the, you can say, tax invoice or making the payment. So, in that case, when there is no information in the contract mentioned in reference to the payment, then in that case, before or at the time when the supplier receives the payment, any time when the supplier is receiving the payment, that date or before that date, you can issue the tax invoice. So if suppose I have to organize the conference and nothing in reference to the payment has been mentioned, then in that case, when you are making payment to the supplier, then that date will become the maximum time limit for the issue of the tax invoice. Then third point, it says where payment is linked to the completion of an event. When payment is linked to the completion of an event means that you have not mentioned any date, but you can say you have based your payment as per the event. Like for example, if I say I have to organize 4 conferences and I have given the contract to the event management company, and I have said that once one conference will be over, then I'll make 25% payment. Second conference will be over, I'll make another 25%. Third conference, another 25%, and at the end of fourth conference, I'll make another 25% payment. So finally, at the end of the fourth conference, so all 100% payment will be made. So I have not mentioned the date here, but I have related that thing to the particular event. Or another example can be, let's say there is a contract between the two parties, let's say for a supplier and the recipient, and supplier has said that recipient has said that I will make the payment once, let's say 20% of the work will be done. So one event is 20% of the work done. Supplier recipient is saying I will make the payment 25% when 20% of the work will be done. So as soon as the 20% of the work is done, the 25% payment has to be released. Then the recipient says in the contract, it has been mentioned that once 50% of the payment will, 50% of the work is done, I will make 50% payment. So at the date when 50% work will be done under the contract, the payment will be done. And once the payment will be done, the invoice has to be generated accordingly. So with such events, when the date has not been mentioned anywhere, but it is related to certain targets or it is related to certain completion of the event, in that case, the invoice has to be generated on or before the date of completion of that event. So when that event gets completed, when that target gets achieved, the date at which the target will be achieved will become the maximum time limit for the generation of tax invoice. So on that date or before that date, you can issue the tax invoice. So this is all situations under which you can issue the tax invoice. Time limit, maximum time limit when you can issue the tax invoice in case of supplies. And we have seen this different situations under the taxable goods and services. Under taxable goods, we have seen two situations where there is normal supply of goods and where there is continuous supply of goods. The next is taxable services. So under services also, we have studied 2 points. One is the normal supply of services, other is the continuous supply of services. So we'll take up another topic in the next session. Thank you all for now.